the old guard.
Passing
This
the
is
torch.
great.
Yeah,
passing the torch. Brandon Sorensen had a little bit of bad luck. He kind of bent up his car yesterday. Gucci had a lot of bad luck last year, but guess what? They're back. New season.
Yep.
Wash, rinse, repeat. Let's send it. Here we go. Now we're going for head-to-head, our first battle. Ken Gucci in that Toyota GR Supra. Brandon Sorensen, BA-powered BMW. Ryan Lontaine, Jared Deanda here in the booth. Ken Gucci initiates past that point of no return. Coming to review, getting all the way to that outside zone. Now under the bridge, outside zone 2. Now transitioning that final outside zone. Ooh, Gucci goes hard at the wall. Affect the attitude of the car. That might have thrown Brandon off there. Quickly go down to that touch and go in that final inside clip. Brandon seemed really timid. And I want to back it up because on that initiation, you saw Brandon take a way shallower line.
You're right.
Ryan, again, I really appreciate you kind of joining me in the booth, and we're just going straight to the judge's mouth. So let's get on with our instant replay and see what's going on. What are your thoughts, knee jerk?
Well, looking at what Brandon did, just like you said at initiation, it looked like there was a hesitation there. He was not quite initiating. Look, right there, he backs off, kind of a lack of angle. The proximity isn't there, but Gucci gets way out wide. Brandon doesn't get out wide, but what is the big story here is going to be Gucci tapping the wall and straightening up, and that's going to be an incomplete from Gucci. Once the lead car initiates, the run is over. So that spin from Brandon in the chase doesn't matter because Gucci already incompleted. The run is over.
Watch his front wheels.
Yeah, right here, he goes completely straight, drives straight, quite a distance there. Brandon's trying to avoid, got on the brakes, spun the car. So the spin doesn't matter. Gucci will be at fault here for that spin.
Yeah, and early on, like you said, it seemed like he had a lack of, there's the truth serum. We always call it that because you get that overhead shot, that's going to show you the attitude of the car, the smoke line, their line. Gucci hit that final outside zone, straighten him up, throws Brandon off. And Brandon, I mean, admittedly didn't have the best chase up until that point, but with Gucci making that just put the nail in the coffin for Gucci, unfortunately.
Well, what a chase driver needs to do is never give up. He wasn't on Gucci right away, but he got back on it, tried to get that proximity back, and just as he earned that proximity back, that's when Gucci made his mistake. So you have to give Brandon a little bit of credit there for not giving up, fighting, getting close, but in that sense, Gucci kind of, with that spin, ended the run right there. So.
Well, guess what? Don't count him out just yet. Brandon, he's got the clean air. He'll be out front.
That's it.
Remember, when those red lights extinguish, it's go time. Here we go. Send it. Brandon Sorensen, Ken Gucci. Brandon Sorensen, that Air Force BMW from Las Vegas, Nevada, 17 years young, initiates nice aggressive initiation, so maybe a little more confidence here. But Gucci needs to apply the pressure. He's going to need Brandon Sorensen to make a mistake. Brandon, not the prettiest right now, not getting out there, but look at that. So again, Brandon taking the shallower line, but you have to think that big mistake by Gucci. He needs Brandon to mess up, and that's not going to happen here today. Brandon Sorensen will get the victory unofficially. We'll look at it again. The judge will assess, including you, Ryan Lontaine, Chris Yule, and Brian Egger. Our three judges back at it again. So let's look at it. But unfortunately, Brandon didn't make a mistake like Gucci
Exactly.
did.
An incomplete is, the only way an incomplete can be, let's say, matched or overcome is with another incomplete from the other driver. So the fact that Gucci had that incomplete on his lead, and in this case, Brandon put together a complete run. He didn't fill the zones as well as he should have, but he maintained drift. He was on throttle, didn't go off course, didn't hit the wall anywhere, and completed the run. So in that case, we've got a pretty clear-cut win for Brandon. Here you can see Gucci was pushing really hard on the latter half of this run. He had a little bobble there on the rumble strip after initiation, but then got close. You can see he's running almost the exact same line as Brandon here, but as he transitions, he gets really, really tight, kind of gets his nose in a little bit ahead of Brandon's, hits the clip, but really doesn't matter at this point.
Slide him left for Gucci or right. Look at that. Boom. Brandon Sorensen gets the win. It was unmistakable, so appreciate that. Just slide him on over there. It's unanimous. Brandon Sorensen gets the win. Ken Gucci, we'll see you in Atlanta. Again, Ken Gucci, a veteran since day one. Just a handful now with Vaughn Gittin Jr. saying, again, not goodbye, saying see you later. Dai Yoshihara, who again is Masayama's spotter here this weekend, he's saying, you know what, guess what, I'm gonna, oh, look at this, stoked. We got Jeff Jones on the line. How many cylinders he has? TBD.
That's another question, right? How does it sound? Kind of hard to tell.
All right, Jeff Jones in that Pedal Commander burnout box. Ryan Turk on the line. And there are the stats once again. Jeff, we'll see if he's got that all 800 or what he's got under the hood of his Nissan 370Z. A new build for him. The vehicle might look similar, but it is a brand new vehicle that he built in the off season, so it's great to get that fresh chassis. Similar to that of Jonathan Castro, another Toyota GR family member. But Jeff, like I said, just had so much fun last year. You know, just piqued a lot of interest and raised a lot of eyebrows the way he drove last year. Do you think?
Yeah, he was aggressive, and he had some moments of brilliance. And he said it himself. He said, I had a lot of great luck last year and had a great time.
Also
and,
a lot of bad luck.
But
this year.
This year.
Yeah.
Transitioning into 22, it's a whole new year for him, unfortunately. And that's what's going to happen sometimes when you build a new car. You're going to have some teething issues. You're going to have to work through, and unfortunately, you have to do it here between the walls of Long Beach.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're talking about Jeff Jones and his kind of bad luck. Ryan Tuerck, that's a new engine. They swapped that thing this morning.
They did not.
Yes, they did. That's a new engine, FYI.
Right.
The Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla on Nitto tires. Ryan Tuerck, our #1 qualifier. He's got the clean air out front and no Rain-X needed. As now goes in that first outside zone. That small little back bumper getting close. Not as close as we saw in qualifying or in practice, but guess what? Oh, Jeff Jones. You see that problem in the chase position now. Out to that BC Racing Go for Gold. Touch and go. Nice job around the inside clip. Guess what? Jeff did have a small mistake exiting that outside zone 3, but Ryan Tuerck put it together out front. Again, maybe kind of tempering the flame a little bit, rising to the occasion, but let's take a look at it again. And what were your thoughts, Ryan?
Yeah, you can tell Jeff Jones is having some issues in the chase. He's pushing as hard as he possibly can. You can hear that the car is struggling a little bit, so maybe he is down that one cylinder potentially. He tried, though. He didn't give up. He was pushing as hard as he could, but like you said, he did make a slight mistake there. So initiation, Ryan Tuerck there with some slight handbrake pulls, got on throttle where he was supposed to, got out wide to outside zone 1, nice transition to 2, and you can see Jeff, those bobbles in the chase position. He's really pushing right there.
Yeah,
the car straightens up, and that's where you really heard the engine struggling right in that area. But Ryan Tuerck, really clean run up front. Not a 100-point run, but definitely close to what he did on qualifying day.
And this goes back to your point about #1 qualifier going against number 32 qualifier.
Yeah.
Also, his spotter, Steph Papadakis, he's in his ear. He's saying, hey, or is Biddy, I think Biddy's is in his ear. Yeah, Biddy's Hartsock Motorsports. He's in his ear, and he's saying basically like, hey, know that he might be down on power.
Yeah.
This is where it gets precarious.
This is the tricky part right now for Ryan. So he's been, I'm sure he's got his spotter in his ear right now, giving him some strategy, what he needs to do, insight into how it looked, how Jeff looked in the chase position. And knowing that that car sounds potentially hurt, Ryan's maybe going to give a little bit of space there, but he can't leave too much space either. That's where it gets tricky.
Here we go. Let's swap the order of operation. Jeff Jones now our lead driver, the 818. So he is sponsored by Evil Auto Works. Let's see if he turns that, flips it around, and calls it some love. See if he gets some love here. The Evil Auto Works Nissan 370Z. Jeff Jones out front. Little trickle here out of the start. Ryan Tuerck drops into formation. Past the point of no return. Was that a late initiation? I'm not sure. We'll have to take a look at that again. So fails to get all the way to outside zone, like I said. Sounded healthier there, so maybe it's firing back up. But Ryan Tuerck doing everything he needs to do. This is, right there. I mean, Jeff looked healthier out front, but Ryan Tuerck, no mistakes in that chase position. That Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla on Nitto tires stands and delivers in that chase position.
Anytime that a car is going to have an engine that isn't running right, it's always going to be harder in the chase because you have to adjust to the lead. And if you let the revs drop, sometimes it's hard to get them back up, whatever might be the issue. But in the lead, you can see that Jeff is on throttle, the tires are spinning, and it's working for him in the lead. He had a couple of small handbrake pulls there to keep the car in drift and maybe just push the line out a bit, but overall did a good job in the lead. It was a clean run. Tuerck put on enough pressure that he wasn't sandbagging, he wasn't holding back. He was definitely putting on the pressure. He was right there in his door. So Ryan Tuerck, I think, is going to get the easy win here.
All right, we got Chris Yule, Ryan Lontaine, and Brian Egger. Slide him left for Tuerck, right for Jeff Jones. Boom, it's unanimous. Ryan Tuerck gets the win. Ryan Tuerck unanimously gets the win. Congratulations, Ryan Tuerck. Unfortunately, Jeff Jones. Keep that smile on your face, buddy. Your mom, your wife, they're all here. You got your team supporting you. We'll see you in Atlanta, and I know you're going to rise to the occasion in the ATL. Dirty South. We're 2 battles in our 16 battles of our 32. And what's great, I mean, we didn't know we were going to have a bye run up until this morning. You informed us of that. So unfortunately, Darren Kelly is parking it. You said he had some twists in that Kiwis vehicle, that V12 supercharged Aston Martin. Very cool car. Excited to see. They supposedly have another engine being built.
They do. It's a 6.8 liter, going to make close to 1,000 horsepower, he said. So that'll be the one that we'll look out for. I don't know when it's going to go in the car, but
Sure, bro. Sure, bro. All right, Chris Forsberg, Yves Meyer. Forsberg, new car for him. Yves Meyer, new car for him. Chris Forsberg, brand new car. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's told me this is basically the first ever all-new Nissan Z outside of Nissan's ownership. Got the car? Let's cut it up. So he's running the VR horsepower out of the GTR. So exciting for him, brand new car. Yves Meyer, brand new car for him. Car might look similar, different livery, but that vehicle is the vehicle that Jonathan Castro has campaigned for the past few years. So it's great to see this Swiss driver of Yves Meyer back, different car. He campaigned that Drift Force BMW. The vehicle is being worked on and tuned by the Drift Cave, which is Matt Field and his operation. So that his cavemen are working on the vehicle, banging away on this Swiss Toyota GR80. So anyways, regardless.
A lot going on there.
Brand new car for Yves Meyer. Chris Forsberg will lead. Forsberg, he qualified 8th compared to Yves Meyer's 25th. So great to be back out here. So brand new car for that 3-time champion, Chris the Force Forsberg. An awesome Drink, all new Nissan Z on GT Radial tires. Let's see what you got here. Forsberg going against Yves Meyer in the chase position. Initiates now to that first outside zone. Slowly kind of works his way out there. Now snaps into that second outside zone. Yves Meyer tucking in the smoke. Oh man, look at the pressure that Yves Meyer's got. Nice that BC Racing go for gold. Yves Meyer looking very comfortable at 86. Ooh, he does impede on that inside clip, but man, Yves was right there.
He was.
And that, we talked about those Rockstar energy drink keys to success, and don't get lost in the smoke. Yves was kind of flirting with get blinded by the smoke, not the light.
He was putting on the pressure though, Jared. Let's see at the initiation, got it nice and close right away. You can see Forsberg getting on throttle. Yves a little bit on the inside line there. And then Forsberg goes wide on 2, which was nice. Could have been deeper on 3, but you can see Yves putting on the pressure. He is right there. Right here we have to look. Looks like one tire off at the inside clip, so that's not the worst thing that could happen. Eye in the sky here is going to give us a great view. So you can see a little bit of movement in Yves' car. He's not really on the same line there through outside zone 1, but he works the car back through 2 and 3, and look how close he got right there. That's some great proximity from Yves. And as he goes in here, he may have transitioned just a little too early. Didn't quite have the momentum to carry himself out around the inside clip.
It really seemed like Yves, you know, obviously was not on line 1 and 2, but he kind of like, look, I'm still in this. I'm still in this fight. You saw him gain that proximity, got to the side of him, but was that enough? And again, going on the inside, small deduction there, just mentally as far as the over outcome. Both, you know, you and your, I'm talking to you, Ryan Lontaine and Brian and Chris, digest those both runs, give the verdict here. But Yves, right out of the box, looks very comfortable in that 86. And it's a proven chassis.
Yeah, it is. And now Yves needs to be as good or better as Chris was in his lead. So he needs to fill the zones. He needs to get out wide, especially at 2 and 3. And Chris now needs to put on the pressure too in the chase. Everything's comparative, so we're looking at how Chris did in his lead, and now we're going to compare that to how Yves does in his, and then chase to chase comparing as well. So that means Chris has to put on the pressure in the chase position right now.
Here we go.
Cone down.
Looks like cone down. So for those that are new to the drifting world, we have that start chicane. And the start chicane was created just to make sure that there wasn't a drag race off the start. What that does is it pairs them up so nobody just rips away from the chase driver. So the chase driver can also, maybe elaborate on that, Ryan, please.
Yeah, this is so the lead driver is sort of choked up a little bit when he leaves. He can't go full throttle and leave the chase car in the dust. So they have to go through this tight chicane. They can't hit a cone. They can't jump the start light. They can't park on the start light either, which means that when the start light goes out, that Matt Sopa there, the starter, he will do a 2 count. And if the lead car hasn't left the line after the light has gone out after 2 seconds, he'll do a restart again. If you get 2 restarts, you're okay. On your 3rd restart, it's an incomplete. So that includes hitting a cone, stalling the car, jumping the light, or parking on the light. And those are all called restarts, strikes, and it's a 3-strike, you're out rule.
Yeah, 3
so
strikes.
He's got 1
Stick
right
ball
now.
Sports. Yeah, so
he has
he hits
1
another
strike.
cone too. Again, we have seen it 3 strikes and you're out, but so extinguish, 2 seconds, and that was a clean start. As long as he doesn't hit a cone, we're good to go. There it is. So here we go, that Drift Force, Gazoo Racing, Switzerland, Toyota GT86 comes now into that outside zone. Chris Forsberg, NOS Energy, all new Nissan Z on GT Radial tires. Yves Meyer, massive angle there. Huge angle from Yves. And look at that. Forsberg with a little shallower line, takes that inside line now, gets all close and personal to him around that inside clip. Here we go, digesting those runs here, and this is again a really good start for Yves Meyer. Here's Chris Forsberg, who's been competing. He is kind of one of the last standing starfighters, a day oneer. Ken Gucci and him
Yep, yep. So looking at Forsberg here, playing it a little bit safe early on, but look at Eve going down that outside zone 2. Great transition, nice line. Chris falls off ever so slightly, misses outside zone 2, but then comes on and puts on the pressure at the end here. He gets nice and close and doesn't hit the inside clip, doesn't drop a tire. So if you look at the mistakes that were made by both drivers in the chase, Chris had a slight error there of line from around outside zone 3. Eve did not quite get out as wide there at 1. Did a good job on 2 though. Maybe about the same on 3. He was a little bit late on 3, but then Chris right there with them through to the end. So we're gonna have to look at the errors that were made. I'm pleasantly surprised by Eve, how comfortable he is. He didn't always look as comfortable in his old BMW last year, but it looks like he's right at home here in this GT86.
Yeah, and Eve and Josh Reynolds, they're the Drift Force team. You know, they've done a great job. They're both from Switzerland and just really dynamic drivers. Josh Reynolds' vehicle hopefully will be in Atlanta. He says it's going to be there. He's got a vehicle that he campaigns back home. So here we go. Slide him left for Forsberg, right for Yves Meyer. And it's unanimous. Chris Forsberg gets the win. If you can't elaborate on that, I saw you go and tap Forsberg. It's great to kind of be, again, right here versus looking down on you from an ivory tower. You're in the ivory tower now. What justified that in your eyes?
Well, I only saw one real error from Chris Forsberg, and that was on outside zone number 3, whereas when Eve was chasing, he made multiple mistakes, one of them being going off course where the inside clip is, dropping that tire and hitting the clip. That's always the big one. If you go off the actual track surface, and that's what we've denoted over there being the on and off track. So that's a big one. But overall, Chris just did a better job to beat the chase.
Here we go, moving on to our next battle. Michael Essa, Taylor Hull. Michael Essa, pretty similar setup to last year, he says, but he's always refining it. Michael, you know, builds some amazing road race cars. He's got FCP Euro. He's got access to a ton of parts, so always appreciate FCP Euro. And seeing Michael Essa, he's a former champ. He knows how to get it done, so it's great to see him back here. But Taylor Hull, brand new car. And my expectation for Taylor Hull is, guess what? He's doing it for Dale once again. He had his Cadillac ATS-V. He had the kind of the historical kind of throwback livery. Now he's got kind of a different era, and he's got a new car. I'm expecting Taylor Hull. Great things from him. Could it be here in Long Beach? Could it be in Atlanta? With the new car, you really got to work it out, and that's what we've always known. Again, you can only tell the future by looking at the past. The way Taylor Hull developed that ATS-V was very commendable, but with a vehicle that, you know, is different and unique, it comes with those growing pains. Sure. So will Taylor Hull deliver? Guess what? He's got to go through a former champ.
Exactly, that's the big thing. Michael Essa is very consistent and knows this track very well. Not that Taylor Hull doesn't, but he's in a new car, which is a little less predictable for him. So it's going to be a big challenge.
Michael Essa, FCP Euro, Liqui-Moly, BMW. Run of those Bill Steins on the corners. Bruce Brigade member. Nice job by Essa initiating. Let's see if Taylor Hull, he tucks in, a little shallow off that outside zone 1, also outside zone 2. Michael Essa doesn't get all the way to outside zone 3, but with those mistakes early on by Taylor Hull, how is he going to fare? Makes it up there on the back end. So we'll back it up, but again, Essa did get to the outside zone 2, and here it is in that chase position. That chase driver just treading lightly, didn't get to the outside zone 2. We've seen that a few times already.
Yeah, Michael Essa's looking clean in the lead here, and Taylor Hull's looking pretty clean in the chase as well. A couple of little bobbles right there, but he's building the proximity. He's getting in close. Not quite as wide as Mike Essa on 2, but gets back online through outside zone 3. His proximity is what we call maybe like a mid-proximity, but he's running a clean run in the chase position. Didn't hit the cone there, coming around inside clip 1, and did a great job of mimicking more or less what Mike was doing. I'd like to see him a little bit closer, though. We'd like to see a little bit more proximity there and more mimic. So right there you can see is where Taylor Hull was offline a little bit compared to Mike Essa. So that outside zone 2 to 3 area is really the major error that Taylor Hull made in the chase. So now it's time to switch it up, of course. So Taylor Hull in his lead run now needs to be out as wide or wider than Mike Essa was in the lead, and Mike Essa needs to be closer than Hull was in the chase and mimic him more. So really get on the same line and match his transition style and also timing.
Here we go, let's alternate the order. Taylor Hull, he's out front. Michael Essa giving chase. You can see our next pair back there, Odi Bakshi's, Nick Novak, that CoreWorks BMW. Matt Sopa, our starter. Sopa on a Ropa, keeping it clean out there. Now going through that start chicane, here comes Taylor Hull. Is he going to restart that? No, he did not. So he barely nicked that cone. I don't know if he's going to restart the.
Stay in the box.
Staying in the box. Here we go. So just barely flirting with a restart. Oh, look at this. So not only changing positions, but changing positions in more ways than one, because Taylor Hall, look at Taylor stepping up, filling all the outside zone 3. Michael Essa taking that shallower line, and a wide swing by Taylor Hall. I'll tell you what, that was very unlike Michael Essa, but Taylor Hall, he's like, yo, I'm here. Like, yeah, it might be the maiden voyage for this vehicle, but this Comp Cams Edelbrock GT Radial Corvette looks good.
Yeah, something happened here at initiation. So let's watch. Taylor Hall gets the car to angle, and then Michael Essa just drives through that whole area, that whole first corner. He was gripping essentially around that corner, so there was no drifting there whatsoever. I didn't see anything from Taylor Hall to cause that on Mike's behalf. So that looks like an error that Michael Essa caused all on his own in the chase position. We're going to have to watch that again, maybe from the, I don't know if we have the drone view of that, that'd be awesome, but we're going to have to get another replay just to make sure, but I think that looked just like an error on Mike Essa's part. Maybe it was a misshift, or potentially just had it in the wrong gear or something like that. So we have a side-by-side.
Yeah, the BC Racing Custom Coilovers go for gold side-by-side, and I really love this because it really shows kind of the difference.
So getting back on throttle, looks like Taylor Hall's on throttle there, no problem. Michael Essa wasn't that close to him at that point either. It's not like he got choked up or had that error caused on him. He had less angle through outside zone 3 as well, and you can see that Taylor Hall's on throttle. He missed inside clip 1, but overall a pretty clean lap from Taylor Hall in the lead position.
So you got a lot to digest here, Lantain. I'll let you elaborate with your fellow judges, or not elaborate, but kind of what did you see? Where did you see? Was it a misstep there by either Hall or Essa? But overall, an exciting run. As we are, this is our, I believe, this is our first battle that really kind of gets close, and it wasn't so definitive out of the gate. And this is where, so judges are saying, let's take another look. This is the second run. So this is Taylor out front, Essa in that chase position. Taylor, you see him, initiates at the proper time. Taylor gets out there. You see Essa kind of roll into that initiation on outside zone 1. Watch outside zone 2. Essa takes a shallower line, not as much angle as Hull. Now touch and go, clean. Taylor Hull does overshoot it. He's about a half a car length off that inside clip. And now they cross the finish line. That was and again, love that shot. That drone shot is so telling.
Scores are in.
Scores are in. Here we
Scores
go.
are in.
Did you put yours in? I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's already
Taylor
in there.
Hall gets the win. Taylor Hall gets the win, taking out Michael Essa. So, wow, that was interesting. We'll come back to the Taylor Hall verdict, but Lorette Nickel is with the 3-time champ, Chris the Force Forsberg.
Well,
On Wednesday, he was at media day, and you were telling me, because I wasn't out here, he had to take that thing back and get a nose job on that thing.
Yep.
Here we go. Odi Bakshi's, Nick Novak going down. That Falcon Tire Field Suspension S15 initiates a big angle there, but guess what? Nick Novak, regardless of being battered and bruised, still comes back for it. He is a rookie. Look at Odi Bakshi flexing on him, talking about that back bumper, that back fender at minimum. And you know what? I always say this, get the crashing out of the way. If it's gonna be inevitable, sometimes it's like, okay, guess what? YOLO, got nothing left to lose, let's go for it. And it seems to work out and pay off for Nick Novak.
Yeah, get it out of your system early so that when competition comes, you can actually put it together. But that was a great run from both drivers. I think Odi could have done a little bit better on outside zone 1, but great initiation here, gets on throttle at the right place, not holding anybody up there. Could have been wider on 1. Novak is right there. Look at the Mimic transitioning at the same time as Odi. Odi got into outside zone 3 late, but managed to touch the wall. Didn't affect his line, didn't affect his angle, didn't affect the attitude of the car at all, but it did get him into that zone late. So let's watch it from the sky. Always gives us a lot more info that we can get from the ground. So watch Odi's line here. The zone got out there really, really, really late, but he was still wide. It wasn't that he wasn't all the way, just wasn't all the way out to the wall. So, but great job from both drivers there. Nick did not give Odi a lot of room, put a lot of some pressure.
Would you say he no back down?
He no back
Yeah,
down.
no back down. He didn't do that. Yep. Look at this photograph. Nickel, no back. Yep. Yep. Again, another Canadian treasure. Right?
Another Canadian treasure?
Yeah, another one. Like,
what's the first Canadian treasure?
I don't know.
Me,
Think
maybe?
of one.
Am I a Canadian treasure?
You are a Canadian treasure. That's what I was getting at.
Oh, okay.
You're the most humble guy you know. So, all right, Nick Novak will now be leading that CoroWorks BMW GT Radial, and Odi Bakshi will be giving chase. Nick Novak in the Rockstar Energy Drink, top 32 Rockstar Energy Drink, the official energy drink of Formula Drift. Got a clean start. Nick Novak, battered, bruised, but not down and out. Now coming into that first outside zone, Nick Novak gets about a half car length off. That could throw off Odi Bakshis. Now this is where it needs to apply the pressure. He has to adjust. Novak, look at that, he spins. Look at that maxed out angle from Novak going into that go for gold, outside touch and go. Pretty well executed by both the drivers. I'll tell you what, Odi did a really good job of compromising because he saw Novak didn't get out there and he had to shallow up, but he got right back to him on the outside zone too. That is very difficult to do, to massage your car in that chase position.
It's very surprising how similar those lead runs were from both drivers. It's almost like Nick Novak saw what Odi did in his lead. He's like, okay, I'm going to do that.
Yep.
He just, watch, the distance there from outside zone 1 is pretty much the same. Same thing on 2. If you look at 3, Novak went late into outside zone 3, tapped the wall in almost the same spot. It looks like he was right at maximum angle there. Looked like he was maybe potentially holding back from a spin, maybe not. But let's watch it again from the ground level here. Nice transition. Odi's nice and close. Odi's got his car positioned very, very well. That's something that's really important too, is where is your car in respect to the lead? And you can see that Odi's pretty much in the right spot, but you can see there, Nick definitely over-rotated the car slightly there, probably had to catch it and then get back on throttle. So there was a slight error from Nick Novak.
Yeah, this is really another tight one. As you said, it's a good proximity position for Odi, but you were talking about exceeding the lead car. Do you think Odi, did that, or was that's kind of flirting with it, but given the previous outside zones, that's the only thing he could kind of do.
Right, I think because of the fact that Nick went really wide on 3, late on 3, hit the wall there, and then went looked like over-angled after outside zone 3. Like these drivers were talking about yesterday in the briefing, the marbles, the grip level on just outside the line, if you're running a wider line than the average driver out there, you're going to be in some marbles and the grip is not going to be there and the car's going to want to over-rotate, and we've seen that happen often from 2 to 3 and after 3. So let's watch the side-by-side.
Yeah, you talked about it, almost identical lead runs, so I really think it's focusing on the chase run and what they're doing in the back end.
Yeah, so you can see the proximity to the wall there's identical, same thing there for the lead to lead. Watch Odi though, he taps the wall and keeps going. Look at Novak right after tapping the wall. The car goes to high angle, slows down a little bit, and I think that's where Odi had to adjust, but did an amazing job. I think if you had a lesser driver behind Novak there, it would have been more obvious, the correction that had to be made, but Odi is so skillful, he made it look easy. He made it look like he had to do nothing back there, but he actually probably put together a great chase despite what happened in the lead. So you can see here, the 3 judges, 3 of us went with Odi, and I think it's based on what happened to Nick in his lead, tapping the wall there after outside zone.
Daily Driven Exotics Dodge Viper going against Dan Burkett. Dan Burkett, again, the Rad Industries Gear Wrench GT Radial Mark IV Toyota Supra, always has some good looking cars. Dan Burkett looks like he qualified 13th. Dean Carney qualifying 20th. New Viper looks really good, and again, that Hyper NFT, it's all about hypercars, supercars, NFT in the meta, just going digital. I love it. It's cool. Again, just a new breed of technology, and some people don't understand it, but guess what? You know what you're going to understand? Somebody's going to win. You got 2 amazing cars, high horsepower. Dan Burkett initiates. The GT Radials go round. Nice job by Dan Burkett. Big angle. Ooh, looks like he kind of had a hiccup there. Threw a lot of angle out there. Look at that, massive. Kind of almost rotate. That's a hard act to follow.
Yes, it is. He threw a lot of angle at outside zone 1.
And that's going to just absolutely throw off Dean Carney.
For sure.
Again, Dan Burkett progressed with this Mark IV Supra, and just kind of a new look, a new feel, always working on the Rad Industries. What's your assessment?
Well, let's look at this initiation first, Jared. See the cars getting the angle. Dean Carney's in decent proximity right here, but look at the way that Rad Dan gets over-angled there, looked like, and slowed down considerably. Dean Carney had nowhere to go in that situation, and that is an area of the track where momentum is so important. If you're in the chase position and the lead car slows down on you, as a chase car, you have nowhere to go, and that means that you're going to have to slow yourself down. The lead car is going to take off, and now you're kind of sitting there left hanging. and it looks like Dean Carney was left hanging in that situation. So the proximity is enough here that it's close enough that you could say that the lead car affected what's going on with the chase. It almost looked like he was going to spin in that area right there. So watch the cars. He comes around,
Yeah, right here.
big angle, a couple of little bobbles right there, and tries to get on throttle and carry through, but he just kind of left Dean hanging in the chase position. So Dean then doesn't have the momentum to get himself wide around number 2 and 3. And of course, as you get to 3, you can see Dan has huge angle there as well. And Dean Carney's just trying to play catch up at that point. So not ideal for Dean in the chase because of what happened in the lead. So personally, I would put it on the lead car, and I would say that the lead took away the opportunity for the chase there.
I would just metaphorically say it's kind of like driving to Long Beach with all the construction, a bit of a roadblock. That's what kind of Dan threw up, kind of a bit of a roadblock. Says, not roads closed, dog. You're not going to come through here. So unfortunately, you know, with Rad Dan's massive angle, I think that really did disrupt. So adding to your point, your elaboration.
Yep.
So now let's see what we get. Run 2, the second half of this battle. Dean Carney, that Hyper NFT Dodge Viper, now coming into view of the fans here in the building in that first outside zone. Nice snappy transition by both drivers. And I believe Dan definitely knows he's got to step up. Nice job by Dean Carney. Look at Brad Dan now getting right tucked in.
Yep.
Looks like just barely nicking it. There wasn't a tire. And you talk about the driver's meeting. You can't hit that cone, but we're talking bumper. We're not talking tire. Don't put tread on it. Put a bumper on it.
Yeah,
put a bird
exactly
on it.
Right.
Portlandia.
So
Okay.
the other issue that we're going to run into here is Dean Carney went a little long in outside zone 3 and dropped the tire on that white line on the outside there. We're considering that an off course. So it'll be one tire off. It won't be a big deal, but it's just something to add to the mix. Looking at what Dean did otherwise, though, great initiation. The transition between 1 and 2 was phenomenal. So right there, you see him drop that tire. Not that big of a deal, really, in the overall side of things, but you can see that he was fast. He was committed in the lead. Watch his initiation here. Gets the car quickly to angle, accurately, gets back on throttle. As if you watch here, outside zone 1 was off a little bit, but then that transition was phenomenal to outside zone 2. You can see that Dan is right behind him, but he misses 3 altogether. The only thing that's going to save Dean here is if the other judges think that what happened in the lead position on the first run, where Dan kind of over-rotated and slowed down, if they feel that that caused Carnage not to really have anywhere to go. So nice little wall tap there.
I'm going to point out again. So watch where the black, there's the black and the gray. When it switches from black to gray, the asphalt to the concrete, you see 2 white stripes. That's when you talk about a tire off. You want to stay within those 2 white stripes that are obviously slowly disappearing because of time, but it's right prior to from the black to the gray, go from outside zone 3 into that touch and go and then bring into that final clip. That's what you talk about, a tire off. It's not obviously going off course, it's not inside clip, it's right before that touch and go. Slide him left for Burkett, right for Dean Carney. We've seen unanimous to Pro Spec, Pro, but guess what? 2 great personalities in the Formula Drift paddock and now on track. Rome Charpentier, Garagistic, BMW initiates in that first outside zone. Travis Reed, the Reader Motorsports, Link ECU, BMW in the chase. Both of them tit for tat. Reader a little bit shallower than Rome Charpentier. Oh, and look at Reader, goes deep, and unfortunately, we saw him put too much angle, gets into that wall. Rome Charpentier showing you why he qualified 5th. We mentioned him on the pre-show, and he's showing you why he deserves to be there. His mom this morning says, red's not his color. Last year's car was red and black. Now, obviously, retina burning, green and purple or pink kind of fade, but it seems to be working out. Regardless of the color, the performance of the car, he's right there.
That was, yesterday he impressed all of us with the run that he put together in qualifying, and he's really keeping that momentum going here in competition. Great initiation, look at his angle, really stable all the way to outside zone 1, transition to 2, nice arc to 3, but right in the chase here, this is where Reader kind of got into the marbles a bit. You can see him over-rotate a little bit, transition the car, but he'd already lost proximity at that point. But Charpentier in the lead is looking phenomenal, great job. So here we go, turn 3. So this is where you see that Charpentier could have been a little bit closer to the wall at the beginning of the zone, and you can see that Reader in the chase there maybe just got a little too close. Again, those marbles are tricky. If you get out wider than everybody else has been driving, it's gonna take the grip away from the rear of your car.
Again, ideal conditions here. A little, just a kind of a gray cloud cover. A little brisk. Some people in t-shirts. Some people got some hoodies on, some sweatshirts. But right now, it just seems to be creating, as Ryan said early on, a consistent condition of the track. You know, you get some sunny spots, some dark spots in the shade, and that's going to change the dynamics of your tire surface, or your tire and the surface kind of relationship there. Yep. And keep in mind that when they do they want to keep it on the black, but at the end they do get onto that gray concrete, and that changes the scenario. And obviously we've had wet runs here before, which let's just not even say the R word right now, rain. But right now, Travis Reeder, we will say that R word, as Reeder comes into that first outside zone. A lot of handbrake there from Reeder, as it looks like Rome Charpentier backs off quite a bit. Reeder, he said he had some ghosts yesterday, but guess what? He surprised himself. Reeder not into that outside zone 3, into that touch and go. They keep it right where they need to be, and both are very tight. So again, there's that bumper tap, just barely nicking that first and final inside clip, the Peninsula on that waterfront.
That was another great battle. I think that Reeder did a great job in the lead. He got out to outside zone 1 really well, did well on 2, but you can see he had a handbrake pull between 2 and 3 because his car wasn't on the right line and he wasn't pushing all the way out to outside zone 3. And he did not fill 3, unfortunately. So let's watch on throttle. Oh, another handbrake pull there. Yeah, good eye, good catch. You can see there, on zone 2, did okay. Handbrake pull there, trying to get out wider. Didn't get out to 3, unfortunately. Transitions the car for the touch and go, and then you see Charpentier right there in the mix, in the chase position. So I'm definitely going to be looking at the errors that were made. We're going to do a little side-by-side, Jared, see how they look. I think that Rome had a cleaner lead. He did get out to outside zone 3 nicely, just tapped that wall when he was in his lead, although it was a little bit later in the zone. But Rome did not, Reeder didn't get all the way out to that zone. So that's, lead-to-lead comparison, that's a big, I guess, detriment to him.
And we always talk about the handbrake pull. What we're talking about is the judges, and I'll let you kind of analyze this and walk us through it here in a moment, but I really want to, because this is pretty close in regards to the outcome and which way it's going. They both had mistakes here and there, but lead versus lead, chase versus chase. When we talk about handbrake, you'll see the rear wheel actually stop. The judges don't want to see that, because when you pull that handbrake, what that's going to cause, knee-jerk reaction, or kind of every action has a reaction. The reaction when you pull that handbrake, that's going to cause the back end of the car to go backwards. So as you were talking about, Lantaine, is on that last outside zone, pulling the handbrake, that's going to cause it to massage to the back. So Rome Charpentier gets the win, the Garage Stick BMW E36. Give moderns hell, and unfortunately, Reeder, you're the modern that he gave hell. So Rome Charpentier and Travis Reeder, I know he talked to Lorette Nickel. We're getting some communique from her, and she says that they were quote-unquote in FD in the States. So Stuckey and Love. Who you gonna love? Is it Love or Stuckey? Stuckey comes across the nose of the After Hours Autosports BMW. Now into view, Stuckey gets out there. Love very shallow for that BMW. Stuckey now to that last outside zone. Coming into the touch and go. A lot of nerves, you got to think, these guys. But that's got to be a level of comfort. As I said, these guys have a storied past. I followed them on Instagram and saw them this morning. They were doing an autograph signing. They said, they've lived so close together. They've done this, they've done that. They're homies, and guess what? They are not homies at all right now.
I think Love's problem started early on here, right at initiation. If you look at his initiation, it was actually late. Yep. Didn't get the car to angle, really. Kind of drove around the first corner and then finally got angle in the car. In the lead position there, Stuckey's doing a great job getting himself out to the zones. Got really far out in 3. And you can see Love putting on some pressure late in the run here, but I think the damage may have already been done in terms of his chase drive. I think that late initiation and slow rotation to angle is really going to hurt him. He's got a big mountain over kind of to climb up here to even the field.
Yep. All right, so Daniel Stuckey, I believe the needle's going his way in regards to the outcome, so Love really needs to step up, and there it is. See the wing? Give moderns hell. That's Rome Charpentier. Looking good, new suit, new livery, same great attitude. Always we've been threatening to play golf. He now moved kind of close to me, and supposedly I play a lot of golf. If you follow me on Instagram, I play a lot, and he says he used to play as a kid, so I'm looking forward to hitting the links with the gentleman. We can go back to the line with our rookie class. 2 of the 4 members. The Pro Spec to Pro Jump. And officially after this battle, we'll be halfway through our top 32. The AutoZone Streets of Long Beach, presented by Type S. Josh Love, After Hours, Autosports, BMW, initiates. Quick little handbrake pull, nice job. That big Duck Club kit looking good. Is he gonna bang it on the wall? No, he does not. Keeps it off the wall. Shallower line. I think Daniel Stuckey's really tempering back and kind of dialing it, knowing that he has an advantage here. No major mistakes. Not an inactive chase, unfortunately, right out of the gate for Love in the chase position. He needed to step up, and he needed Daniel to make a mistake, and that's just not the case for Stuckey. Again, the highest qualifier out of the newcomers into pro.
Yeah, Stuckey knew that he had an advantage. He knows he needs to still put some pressure on, but not take any unnecessary risks. The only error I saw from Stuckey is right there. There was a slight bobble and angle, but he stayed in drift. In the lead position, Love is getting to the zones, not filling them fully. You can see 3 here, he was off considerably, and Stuckey's right there, mimicking his line, mimicking his angle, and getting through the course in that chase position nice and tight. So I think this should probably go Stuckey's way pretty easily here. Unfortunately for Love, making those errors in the chase position on the first run is what sort of sealed his fate.
Again, 2 great personalities. Love these guys. Just the humility and just banging away, doing it for the cause. Stuckey with the stunner shades on, and guess what? He stunned Josh Love. So Stuckey gets the win and moves on into top 16. He's going against the fierce Rome Charpentier. So guess what? It's going to be a tough one. So as we are now halfway. It's got all the air being filtered through the K&N air filter. K&N air filter is the official air filter of Formula Drift. All the way out, listen to Mr. Chelsea DeNofa.
That's the risk you take, Jared, on the wide line.
Yeah, that is true. And guess what? In between, the fans didn't see it, but we did have the street sweepers clean it up.
Right.
So that just goes to show you, you know.
Oh, so you're saying no excuse, Chelsea? Is that what you're saying right now?
Fact, no excuse for him to spin. We got rid of the marbles, dog. I mean, come on. You know, some people are playing checks and chess. Some people are playing chess, and some people are playing checkers. I'm obviously playing neither of them. I'm up here talking smack. Regardless, Chelsea DeNofa gets the win. He gets the bye run here because unfortunately Darren Kelly had to withdraw. And we will be seeing Chelsea DeNofa in the 16.
Jared, we're finding out that Joao Barrion is calling a competition timeout in his C7 Corvette.
All right, so again, Joao Barrion back in the mix. He took a hiatus there in 21 in that interesting season, and now he's back. He says the car feels good, it's freshly prepared. He's all excited about it. Mickey Andrade from Throttle in the building. All right, and my man TJ Hunt, I guess he's coming in the building. Your son is on his way, Mickey. So TJ is on his way. Is he over there? He's been promising me these water bottles.
You don't want to go entire over the line, and you don't want to take away the lead driver's line either.
And you don't want to go against the champ. So here's Simon Olsen. He's going to give it all he's got. Again, 2 Norwegian drivers, 2 Supra, but which one's going to lead? Fredrik Aasbo gets all the way out there, baby. Ooh, look at that. Right under the bridge. Fredrik Aasbo. This is why he's your defending champion. That confidence making its way from 21 to 22. Look at Simon Olsen. He's right there. That looked like a bumper. Don't know if he saw any tire treads go into that inside clip, but definitely, obviously, knocked it over. And Federal Tires underneath Simon Olsen's vehicle, Nitto's underneath Fredrik Aasbo.
So we're going to be looking at how Simon Olsen achieved his proximity here, how he maintained it. So good initiation from both. Simon's already on a tighter line there, and you're going to see Aasbo go really wide in outside zone 1 and 2 for that matter. But Simon Olsen's on a tighter line right here at 3, much tighter line. And then as they transition, Simon Olsen goes on the inside as well. And you can see there, didn't quite drop a tire over the line, but got on the line. So he's sort of safe in that respect. But watching from the sky here, you can really see how Simon's going to be on that tighter line. Look at Aasbo right out to the wall. Great transition out to the wall. He's got the X factors here in his first run of top 32. I think are stronger than his X factors were in qualifying yesterday. He's looking really strong, really confident, and he's throwing the car around kind of with that X factor that we want to see, like just lock to lock, not really controlling the steering wheel very much, letting the car move around, and that's what we want to see from those lead drivers. And
that's something that I really appreciate, because I've always said X Factor just kind of casually, as just with anything. If it's a stick and ball sport, if it's music, X Factor, you've brought that into the official judging vernacular as a unit of measure, which I think is just that, like, that undescribable, like, holy cow, like, did you see that, like that speechless.
The little extra something that makes a driver stand out from the rest.
Dope. Here we go, Simon Olsen, he's gonna lead, but guess what? He's got that gold nose Toyota GR Supra in his rearview mirror. Here we go. Look at that, dropping into formation. There goes Simon out to the outside. Oh, he taps. He comes back. That's going to hurt him, unfortunately. So as Simon Olsen gets disrupted, bashes in that great-looking Supra. Frederick Osbo, you know what? I think he was just like, okay, you go ahead. He gave him a little bit of room, and that paid off, because if he was too close, that would have been, bam, we see 2 Supras, 1 crash.
Yeah, because if Osbo had been right there, that transition that he did was a forced transition, really. The way that the car bounced off the wall, he potentially could have made contact with Osbo. So let's look at it from our best view possible, the sky. So you can see Osbo's right there. Olsen pulls away just ever so slightly, smacks there, and then the car transitions way too early. It wouldn't be called an opposite, almost called an opposite drift, but it wouldn't be. He manages to stay in angle. The car didn't transition back or anything like that. So definitely going to be held against Simon Olsen in the lead there. That's a huge mistake. So watch the hit here. You can see him angle up just before the hit. The transition happens. Osbo actually mimics his transition and follows him through the course. This is something we always tell drivers to do. Mimic what the lead driver is doing, even if it's wrong and it's not dangerous. And Osbo actually transitioned in a super awkward spot really early and matched what he was doing, matched his line, matched his angle through the rest of the run, which is phenomenal for a chase driver to be able to adapt that quickly. That's God level status of driving. That's phenomenal.
God level, wow. Okay, that's championship level.
To do something that quick and respond that fast and match what he was doing, that's phenomenal.
You know what they say about, praising the wrong God? Don't praise the golden God. Guess what? His car is gold. Well, regardless, we know he's a champion. We know his car is gold, and he is currently the rock star. And he's a Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota Supra. Moving on, Simon Olsen bashes in his HGK Toyota Supra, and he will be moving on. That is Frederick Osbo. I'm seeing an RX-8 of Kyle Mohan. And what are the updates with Joao Barrion?
Joao Barrion did not make it, so he did not complete the repairs that he was aiming to repair in that competition timeout. He had 5 minutes, and the 5 minutes elapsed before they could finish. So clearly it was something that was bad enough, catastrophic enough, whatever it was, that he could not come back out here to drive right now.
Saw him last night at dinner, and him and his lady, they were chilling. But right now, let's lay out the lone Rotary in the business. I know there's some Rotary fans out there and online. So let's listen to Kyle the Menace Mohan from Long Beach, California. Renewable lubricants, Mazda Trix, Mazda RX-8. And that's a slow crawl. Make some noise for him as he goes by. Kyle Mohan, the Menace, will be going on in the top 16. It's not stroked. It's just a 3-liter. They didn't stroke it out to 3.2.
Okay.
But the LS under the hood, or sticking out of the hood of that Nissan 350Z, regardless. Castro, Robbins, here we go. First outside zone. Look at Robbins getting aggressive. Drops into the door. Woo! There goes Castro. We're talking about how smooth. New look, new engine, but same old Castro. Out to that final outside zone. Let's see how he handles the touch and go. Ooh, Alec Robbins taking a very interesting line there. Dropped into formation, but early on that touch and go. That was really unique of Alec Robbins, but I tell you what, we talked about it offline, Ryan, but Castro, new look, new engine, new setup, new, but the same drive and just that DR spirit from Dominican Republic of Jonathan Castro.
Yeah, I think this new car, new engine combo has really given him a lot of confidence. Maybe that was lacking in the past. Now he has the whole package, everything's there, and you can see that Robbins gets really close right away, and it kind of bites him because he had nowhere to go. But in the lead position there, you can see that Castro is doing a great job. Kind of off 2 there, but he could be better, a little bit wider. Did well on 3, but watch Reeder as he dives in. Sorry, Reeder.
Robbins.
Okay.
As
he dives in on the inside clip. He predicts really well where Castro is going to be. So watch this. He just flicks the car in. He's got momentum built up, and he uses it. Get right in there on the side of Castro. He falls off a little bit as they go by the clip, but it was a nice calculation, let's say, on Robbins' part as he gets right in there. He transitioned before Castro did and still positioned his car right. But you could see that the way he went in there, he had to slow down a little too much, and then Castro pulled away. But I think the main area of concern, the main area of focus is initiation to outside zone 1, where Robbins got too close, didn't really have anywhere to go, and then completely missed outside zone 1, was on the wrong line going to 2, so that's going to hurt him in a big way. So Castro now needs to put together a clean chase. Just no errors, stay behind him, mimic, proximity, all those things together, and he'll be able to walk away with this. But Robbins has an opportunity in the lead. He can get closer to the zones. He can put together a really difficult to chase lead, and then maybe Castro will make errors in the chase. So these are the things that they have to look at.
Robbins is a very aggressive driver, and look at that. You see him, initiate on that. Ooh, now he's taking that tighter line. See, he's aggressive, but almost too early, and there it is again. Maybe some nerves here for Alec Robbins. Castro, if I'm Castro, he's got to kick back. He's got to lay back. So hopefully the spot, again, very tight line. Robbins took it out. Don't know. I didn't have a chance to talk to Robbins prior to the race, prior to the event, excuse me. But overall, I know him as a very aggressive driver. He has a lot of fun, but again, notably, I just remember St. Louis, was it last year or the year before, very aggressive.
Very much so. So interesting here right away that Castro was so far back in initiation. He didn't have the proximity that you'd like to see, but you can see Robbins in the lead, completely missing outside zone 1 on that super tight line, which is going to cause him to go even further ahead of Castro, who's trying to keep up in the chase. That's partially on Castro for not being close at the beginning. I don't know if there was an issue at the start line maybe where Castro didn't get quite the start that he was hoping for, but in this sense, I think Robbins blew a big opportunity here. Had he put together a good lead, it would have given him a good opportunity, but he missed a lot of the important parts of the track, unfortunately.
Yeah, that just didn't pay off for Robbins. Watch this initiation again. I mean, there's a 3, 2, 1, initiates at the 2 cone, taps that, but then it grips up. Yeah. So it's that fine balance. And now, like we said earlier, you can't really blame it on track because we got a good white balance going here. If you're in a photography or video, it's just a nice white balance, which is going to equate to an even surface outside of the black and the gray towards the end, but it should be consistent. So there we go. Let's make it official. Guess what? He's from New York. Big power on the side, and it's great to see him out here. Shout out to Jer Underwood. What's up, Jer? I know you're tuning in. It's great to see you tuning in, homeboy. Let's go ahead and extinguish those lights. Where are we at? Matt or Mike? Field or power?
Wow, what happened there? Was that a restart?
No. I don't think that's a restart. That might be Mike Power. We'll find out officially, but Matt Field continues through the course, and that's exactly what he needs to do. He's in that lead position. He should have parked it. Look at that. I mean, Matt Field, the Forge Star wheels go round with the Falken tires wrapped around him. Nice job there.
That's a high-level run, Jared.
That was, I mean, if that's a qualifying run, that was 90s, easily. Mike Power slowly trickles through the course. And keep in mind, remember, Mike Power used his competition timeout yesterday.
Oh, no.
He used it in qualifying. And as we said, you only get one for the entirety of the weekend. That's qualifying day and game day. So if Mike needs to get hands on his car, he's going to have a scratch. And now he's out front.
Yeah, his car's running. He was able to drive through the course. We don't know to what level it's. I don't even know if it's damaged or if it's stalled, or he's talking to somebody at the finish line now. So we're going to get maybe a little bit of feedback here. Maybe Pat can fill us in if he hears what happened on the radio. But it looks like he's driving back to the pit area. He's not coming through to the start line. So we'll get an update here from Pat.
And yes, it is official. Mike Power is a scratch. So unfortunately for Mike Power, talking him up, great to see a new addition here in Pro, but those are the breaks. And sometimes, you risk it for the biscuit. He, again, uses one and only competition timeout yesterday. He was the last driver to qualify, and he called his he was the second to last, called his comp timeout, and then you only get one and you are done. So, and he knows who he's going against, Matt Field. Matt Field will complete his second run there. Yeah, so Matt Field will complete his second run there. Mike Power's out. Matt Field moves on to top 16. This will be essentially a bye run for him. Yep. Matt Field, the beast from the base, second overall in the championship. Falken Tire, Drift Cave, Heat Wave, having fun. Momo, Forge Star. And he's ready to throw down as he will advance on top 16. Who's he going against? It'll be either Ryan Littoral and his Power Stop S15 or Jonathan Hurst, that Cash Racing brand new BMW for him, the E46. You can see them in the wings. But let's lay out for Matt Field, Falcon Tire Drift Cave Corvette. Layout list of the Beast of the Bay.
Well, Matt Field had a buy run there, and he made it count. He made it count.
Yeah, he could have chilled there, but zero chill Field. I don't know if you ever met him before.
Just squished the bumper into the outside zone 2 wall and on throttle. That was a really great run. He had a bit of a bobble there, you know, not that it counts for anything, but he, I think he was maybe using this run to test.
From the IE, now in Colton, California, Jonathan Hurst from Paducah, Kentucky. Love this gentleman. The machine gun. Listen to this thing. This thing fires off. And we got the RB-powered Silvia S15. Throws it in. Nice job by Ryan Literal. Now into that first outside zone. Gets all the way out there. Taps the bumper. Oh boy. So what was interesting there, Ryan, was I want to take a look at it again. Jonathan Hurst unfortunately slams that right end in. Did he impede his line? It seemed that, I want to take a look at it again.
Ryan Literal was on that outside zone 1 really, really long. And I think Jonathan Hurst didn't have anywhere to go, and he ended up getting his nose next to Ryan. Ryan transitioned and hit Hurst's front end, which sent him into the wall. So it comes down to positioning. When you're out there on the track, you want to make sure you're not in the way of a potential transition. This goes for initiation as well. Same thing. But
watch this.
You can see Ryan getting all the way out to outside zone 1. Watch the rear of his car. Gets out there, but he hangs onto it really long and then snaps really
that
fast.
Moved the wall.
Yeah, Hurst was right there. Hurst had, you can see the bend in the wall there where they, that was a massive hit. So we're
this is going to be good. Like you said, he hangs out there.
Way beyond the zone. And then Hurst, it just looked like Hurst was trying to be close, but then got choked up because Literal slowed down to try to get the car rotated. Hurst had nowhere to go, but was trying to slow, ended up getting his nose next to Literal. Literal transitions, makes contact with the front end of his car.
And to Literal's defense here, I think it's just a perfect storm.
It is. I'm not blaming it on Literal whatsoever. It was an error that was made. He tried to snap the car, and it was a quick transition. It was going to look cool, but he definitely overshot outside zone 1, and Hurst just was probably like, what do I do? Where do I go back here?
Yeah, and that's just, I'm just going to call it out. Jonathan Hurst, you know, he's not a rookie. He's proven, you know, it's a new car for him. It's the debut of his new car. The AZ Rag BMW E46 looks great. Obviously love it. He's out of the car. Hey, round of applause. And I'm seeing him hobble there a little bit. So safety is our number one priority. So might have hurt his foot, but the Cash Racing, again, the AZ Rag BMW, our first victim into this wall.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for a new build, especially. Not how you want your first round to go with a new build. But again, this track, unforgiving, and it's going to take us a few minutes to get that wall straightened out. We see the big lift over there, so they're going to get all this fixed up.
Yep.
But the main thing is that he is not injured. Like you said, it looks like he has a bit of a limp, but hopefully they get an EMT to have a look at him real quick. That car does not look like they will be fixing it for the next run. I'm no mechanic, but it looks like it's pretty terminal in terms of damage, unfortunately for him. And we're going to have to get, I guess, fault assessed here.
Yeah,
so I'm going to have to go away for a minute.
Yeah, you go ahead and focus on that. You discuss with your judges over here, Ryan Lontaine. He's going to talk with Chris Ewell and Brian Eggert, see who's at fault here. But Jonathan Hurst outside of his car, you can see him right there. Unfortunate turn of events. The AZ Rag Dynasty tuned E46 from Paducah, Kentucky. This gentleman, always a pleasure. Loud car. I'm seeing him hobbling. I don't know if that was a previous injury or if it just hit. He did hit that wall hard. So right now, how this is going to unfold is the judges need to admit fault, see what's going on here. That would dictate, you know, does Ryan Literal continue up? I mean, look, that front right end, that is a massive blow to that vehicle. And, you know, I don't want to make any kind of predictions, but we've seen cars getting written off here. You know, we've seen Darren McNamara crash a car years ago. Ryan Turk most recently rode off a car. built one, but also to the point of coming back and fighting back. Ryan Turk that same year wins New Jersey. So just to tell you that these drivers, these teams, the thrashing begins now for the Jonathan Hurst and his AZ Rag Dynasty BMW E46. So we'll clean up here on aisle 1 or aisle 9, depending on what racetrack you're racing. But again, this infamous track playing host to AutoZone Streets of Long Beach, presented by Type S. When we come back, we'll clean up the track. We'll get back to the action. We'll find out what the outcome is of Literal and Hurst, and then 2 more battles after that. Notably, Adam LZ, our last battle, making a new coming into a Formula Drift Pro behind the wheel of Ford Mustang. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, more action here on the
slowed down in that area. Hurst, in that case, is behind him, like wondering, where are you going to do? What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Trying to maintain proximity at the same time. And then you could see Hurst started to do his transition slightly right as Ryan snapped a car and hit him. And in that situation, we deemed Ryan Littoral to be at fault because he was so offline there. He was filling that zone way beyond. He actually drew a new rubber line there with his outside left rear tire. And Hurst just had literally nowhere to go. And in that situation, we have to put fault on Littoral. And it sounds like Laurette Nichols is going to be down there talking to...
Unfortunate outcome there for Jonathan Hurst, but Littoral is at fault. We'll see if the car is repairable. And that was a massive hit. So let's throw it down to Laurette Nichols.
Thanks, guys. Jonathan is standing right next to me. We saw you get out of the car and limping. First and foremost, are you okay?
Yeah, I might have broke my foot or a couple of toes or something, but like physically, I'm okay. It was a really hard hit. I mean, probably really wasn't all Ryan's fault. You know, if you're up running the man line, we say you get kind of left hung if you're in the chase. And I knew I had to send it every time, you know, every battle, every driver here, everything matters, you know. So I just sent it, you know, I knew I was right on his door. Kind of got in the smoke line a little bit, and I seen him park it, and it just like ice, and I just had nowhere to go. And when he transitioned, it just threw me right to the wall, and it was probably the harder hit that I've had. The car's pretty messed up, but if we could at least get a coilover and something, we might be able to get it back on the ground, at least try to get it back out there. So.
And I heard, here, come take a step out here with me. There's a lot of metal back here, so might not be that great for the broadcast, but I heard you say I can drive it. Is that the plan?
If I can get the coilover on, I can drive it. It doesn't matter. I don't care if it's broken. If I got to run less angle to get it through the course, whatever we got to do so we can make it, you know, make it to 16. So,
Jonathan, thank you so much, guys. Back to you.
Thank you, Laurette. I mean, the spirit of Paducah. Round of applause for Jonathan Hurst, that AZ Rag Dynasty tuned. Again, from Paducah, Kentucky. Yeah, I'm all right. I might have broke a foot or some toes. You know, if that happens to me, I'd have been like, yeah, I'm crying. Yeah. I'm hurting, man. But that just let's take a look and let's take a listen to the impact here, because I believe our gentleman's got the audio. Let's listen.
It was a hard hit, Jared.
It was a hard hit, and we're not sensationalizing the crash. Some people like watching other motorsports because they're waiting for the crash. Fortunately, this is the first one we've seen of the day.
Yep.
He is walking around. He's all right outside of a broken foot or toes. That's the quote. I mean, that's the notable quotable right there. But so in regards to Jonathan Hurst now, he says, I need a coilover. I'll drive it. What have we calculated? Because Ryan Littoral's at fault, that changes things. It's not a competition timeout.
Right.
Ryan, you're the judge.
Yeah, so that means because he was not at fault, he will be given an automatic 10-minute that doesn't count against his competition timeout. If Ryan Littoral has damage on his car from the impact, he'll have to call a competition timeout to fix it. Now, let's say the 10 minutes for Hurst is not enough. Hurst can then call his competition timeout as well. So then he could theoretically have 15 minutes if he needs the whole thing, which I'm guessing for this type of repair he might. It looks like they haven't even touched the car yet, so the timer still hasn't even started right now. So they're standing there with the clock, I'm guessing, ready to hit the start button on that 10-minute clock.
And what's interesting here is, this is the first portion of this battle. And yeah, look, I mean, they're going to act like a pit crew. So, Kevin Wells and the boys are down there. And like you said, 10-minute allotment, there's the clock. 10 minutes has started. So the 10-minute allotment, because he's not at fault. But what's also interesting here is that, if he's unable to fix it, Ryan Little's able to run Brian took him out. Is that the scenario? And it happens the way it does. Oh, I'm seeing brake calipers.
Yeah, there's
that whole corner,
big
man.
mess in there.
That's going to be a lot to make up.
You'd have to expect the frame rail goes a certain distance. You know, they can't cut the whole. You know, they have a little bit they can cut off, but potentially the frame rail up there is bent as well. There could be more damage than they think. They moved that wall. Those 2 concrete walls over there. Those are not light walls.
And look at that. Look at Hurst. Hurst, the spirit of Paducah, getting underneath there. Our NGK competition timeout. And let's just, you know, we'll focus in on them, as I believe we'll move on to our next battle between Dylan Hughes and Justin Pollock. But we'll keep you abreast of the situation, what's going on here. NGK makes ignition coils. Why? Because we prefer a running partner that can keep pace. We know ignition, and since our spark plugs don't run alone, we put some of our own energy and expertise into making a better coil. NGK ignition coils are engineered to OE durability and performance. And because we race to win, we continue to improve the design, testing, and validation of our ignition coils to make installation easier and performance better. NGK spark plugs and coils, better together. Let's go back into our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32, and here is Dylan Hughes and JTP, Justin Pollock. Now, Dylan Hughes, he is driving that BMW, which him and his Royal Purple teammates, Travis Reed, look similar, but Dylan Hughes vies, he wants to 2J the world. Justin Pollock obviously has the Ford power plant under the hood of his Falcon Tires Ford Mustang. So let's see how Justin Pollock fares. Dylan Hughes, he qualified well yesterday. Dylan Hughes, Royal Purple, 2JZ powered BMW. He's on Falcon tires. He's made the switch to Falcon, so it's an all Falcon battle. And Dylan Hughes qualified 6th. JTP, excuse me. Remember, he had a 0, an incomplete on his first run. Let's see how he goes and throws it down. Dylan Hughes in that first outside zone. Dylan Hughes gets it outside zone, really well executed. Doesn't get to the second outside zone of the bridge. That allows Justin Pollock to gain that proximity. He's right there. Justin Pollock now takes the shower line. Dylan gets the outside zone 3 transition. A late transition there by JTP. Both of them bring it around. Little bumper tap there. So you saw Dylan get close to the outside zone 1. Justin was not. Dylan, who came up short on the second outside zone, that allowed Justin to catch up, but it might have kind of bit off more than he could chew, because watch zone 3.
Yeah, watch these cars move around as they come to initiation. Look at JTP swinging that car around, gets the car to angle. You can see that in the lead there. Hughes is doing a great job on outside zone 1. Like you said, JTP wasn't quite there, but then we had a huge
watch
handbrake
3, look
pull.
at that. Dylan gets out there, but Justin a little short.
But Dylan Hughes had a huge handbrake pull where we really don't like to see a handbrake pull, and that is in a vital area between outside zone 2 and outside zone 3, and it's one that we talked about in the briefing last night. Do not pull the handbrake there, and you can see JTP had to kind of check up a bit in the chase.
Where are you saying? 2 to 3?
Earlier.
Oh, okay, thank you. 1 to 2.
The other view, no, earlier between zone 2 and 3,
okay.
He had a big handbrake pull, and you could see Justin getting closer there and probably being a little bit concerned about, he's slowing down. Of course, some of the drivers say their cars speed up when they pull the handbrake, but
You're proving Isaac Newton wrong, by the way.
What's that?
Nothing.
Oh, yeah, we tend to have disagreements on these things in the briefing from time to time. So you can see there that frame rail's bent up. Look at that shock tower, how far it is now compared to where it was previously. That's a significant amount of movement in that shock tower and frame rail. There's about 6 minutes left on that clock. We know that they do have a competition timeout that they can call after that. So that's about a 5-minute addition to that time that could be made if they need it.
So Jonathan Hurst, you saw him back there. Looks like all hands on deck. Simon Olsen team and Jonathan Hurst working and thrashing on that vehicle. And now we are seeing JTP out front. And great eye, again, looking at Dylan, you saw that handbrake pull. That throws Justin Pollock off, and that's a really good assessment there in regards to JTP in the chase. So Justin Pollock will lead. And Dylan Hughes will give chase.
We just got the sending cars yell, so the lights should be going off. There they go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And
bing bong.
There
we go. Justin Pollock, Falcon Tires, Ford Mustang, Link Engine Management. Let's see what we got. Initiation by Justin Pollock. Quick little handbrake. That is in the decel area, as denoted by the judges. Under that second outside zone. Dylan Hughes off of that third outside zone, and here's Justin with the clean air. Really well executed, but I got, Does it come down to that handbrake pull? I think that's going to be a deciding factor. Really excited for Dylan Hughes' year. Has a lot of confidence. Again, qualifying 6th yesterday. Justin had that incomplete. He hit the wall, and when I talked to him yesterday, he said on initiation on the first run, he hit the wall, the battery slid out, cut the engine off.
That's why. Okay. So here we go. JTP, pretty wide outside zone 1. Good job on 2. You can see a nice arc being drawn by JTP from 2 to 3. And in the chase, you can see that Hughes is trying to stay close. He had a couple of bobbles there, some handbrake pulls himself in the chase, which is fine in the chase. You do what you need to do in that chase position to stay close. But you can see that, let's watch from this angle. JTP, nice, decent lined outside zone 1. Hughes could have been deeper there as well. And then right here, Justin's on throttle, no handbrake pulls, and that's what we like to see. Momentum, working the car out on throttle. Oh, there was a handbrake pull from JTP right there, an outside zone.
3.
Number 3. What did JTP say in the meeting yesterday about pulling handbrake between
His car goes faster.
in the middle? No, he had a different comment that I probably can't repeat here.
Okay.
But that's interesting that he had a pull right there.
Yeah, we don't film the drivers' meetings by design.
For good reason.
For good reason, because there's a little spirited conversation sometimes that happen, and that's putting it nicely. No, all joking aside, the judges, Brian Egger, Chris Yule, Ryan Lontaine, they converse just for the betterment of the sport to refine what to give clarification. And there's so many different driving styles. Here is our BC Racing custom coilover side-by-side. Go for gold. Speaking of gold, who's going for it?
So watching this side by side, look at the similarities in line between JTP and Hughes. Hughes got wider on 1, but JTP got wider on 2. Right there, Hughes had a e-brake pull, and then Justin had one a little bit later in his lead. This is a very close battle when you look at it side by side like this. There's some mistakes made by both drivers, some errors from both drivers, and some corrections by both drivers.
There's 3 minutes left, and that's on the initial. So if you're just tuning in, Jonathan Hurst goes hard into the wall after contact by Ryan Littoral. Ryan Littoral was deemed at fault, so there's a 10-minute allotment for Hurst and this AZ Rag Dynasty tuned BMW. So Littoral was at fault, 10-minute allotment, and here we go. Slide him left for Dylan Hughes, right for Justin Pollock, and there it is, 2-1. Oh, one more time. That's our first OMT we've seen for today. So a one more time battle, and Ryan, you're Canadian. That's you. We're in the middle. And
That's me.
who's won? Is it Egger, Yule?
I think it's Yule, me, Egger.
Okay. Yeah, is that correct? Egger, you're last. Okay. So Egger and Yule went the other direction.
Yeah.
And what your reasoning there, as we're getting what would be our final battle, but I know a lot of fans are watching, tuning in. Adam LZ and Masuyama was to be our final battle, but we'll see what the outcome is between Hurst, his vehicle, and Littoral. But the outcome, OMT.
Yeah, OMT for me was because of the similarities in the errors that were made. They sort of traded errors off. One was off of 1, one was off of 2. They both had handbrake pulls where they shouldn't have had handbrake pulls, and the proximity was sort of similar between the two. They both made errors that I'd like to see cleaned up, and I'd like to see one driver really kind of dominate over the other in both roles. Man,
I'm seeing a lot of power tools there, shaving metal, getting things off. Paint, I mean, this is you're seeing all hands on deck. Here it is, Adam LZ and Wataru Masuyama. Masuyama in that S15. And again, just that Buy Now Japan Silvia S15. Adam LZ in the Auto Zone RTR Spec 5D. Adam LZ getting picked up by the RTR team. Vaughn Gittin Jr. saying, see you later, not goodbye, it's see you later. He says he might be coming back to competition when that is, TBD. But right now, it's all about LZ, Adam LZ and Masuyama. A lot of eyeballs on him and a lot of eyeballs on that clock. Kevin Wells holding that. So less than a minute, but as you said, Ryan, after this 10-minute eclipses, another 5-minute, AKA competition timeout, can be called in order to get that car running. So looking for a coilover, and he's looking for, a little Hail Mary.
Right. Clearly, he's going to have to call that CTO right now, the competition timeout, as there's only 30 seconds left. And if Jonathan Hurst does not repair his car because he was not at fault, he will get the win for the bracket. He'll get the points. But then...
Say that again?
If Jonathan Hurst can't repair his car because he was not at fault, he technically wins, but does not move on to the next round of competition.
And that's the clarification I was looking for. Yeah. So thank you. Here we go. Right now, Adam LZ, AutoZone, RTR Spec 5D on Nitto tires, going versus Masuyama in that Buy Now Japan Silvia S15. Adam LZ, little handbrake pull there. Masayama tucks in. Adam LZ doesn't get all the way out there, but definitely looks good. Again, a little shallow on that outside zone 2 into outside zone 3. Consistently about the same distance off of all the outside zones. Let's see if we can dial it here on this inside clip. A little bit of scrub allowed Masayama to gain. Good run there from LZ, but you got to think, you know, he wants to drive, you know, he has driven the other vehicle. Now
Right.
the car he wants to drive is the Ford Mustang. So as we see Adam LZ run through the course, like I said, a lot of eyeballs on him. How's he gonna do? He kind of likes the J, you know, he's driven S13s, and now behind the wheel of a big blue oval that is the Ford Mustang RTR Spec 5D. Let's go ahead and talk about Jonathan Hurst, because this is where the real, guess what? Let's look at the run again. Psych.
Here's the run from LZ and Masuyama. You can see LZ on throttle at the right place after initiation. Could have been wider on 1, could have been wider on 2. Masuyama, good mimic in the chase, but he's not really following the line as well as we'd like to see. His nose is in a little bit too much. Right here, though, he tucks into the right position, gets around that inside clip without making contact with it. I think that LZ could have been wider, could have widened that whole drive out. Did a good job of getting to the zone in the right spot, but just not getting wide enough to it. You can see here outside zone 3, like you said, pretty consistent on how far off of all those zones he was. You know, the 4 feet off maybe. Could have tightened that up a little bit. Masuyama, proximity-wise, did okay. Had to make a couple of compromises here and there to maintain that proximity, but overall looked great.
And you know, I think with Masayama not being close, that let Adam LZ's kind of small differences shine a little less, right? So if Masayama was applying the pressure, I don't think you know it would have made LZ's kind of lack of proximity to the wall shine a little more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
potentially.
Yeah. So Masayama, he could have been closer. So right now, I think Adam LZ, he's feeling more comfortable in this Ford Mustang. He's had a lot of experience behind the wheel of it. You know, starting off at St. Louis Auto Show, and now here he is. He's going to apply the pressure to Buy Now Japan S15. Masayama gets all the way out there. Adam LZ, early transition into outside zone 2. Straightens out LZ.
Saves it.
Saves it from the wall, but with that mistake, Masayama and LZ, unfortunately, you saw that. So Masayama continues. Looks like he will get the win.
Yep.
With Adam LZ, something might have gone wrong there. I really don't think that was driver error.
We'll have
You
to
know,
see
that
in
was
the replay
interesting.
here.
Yeah, watch the transition. When he comes out of outside zone 1, he transitions and then it just kind of snaps back, almost like a little tank slapper.
Great run from Masuyama. Look how wide he got out to zone 1, zone 2.
See how it comes out?
I don't know what happened there. We'd have to talk to somebody to see if they'll give us feedback on what they think happened.
Lorette, go talk to Adam.
Yeah,
See
go talk
that?
to Adam. I don't know what happened. That could have been a power steering thing. It could have been an engine turning off thing. I'm not really sure. Let's watch it from the drone initiation. Adam LZ was a little bit slow on his transition there. Could have been a little quicker, but Masayama gets out wide on 1, great on 2.
See how it snaps back? Like he goes to rotate and transition into 2. 1, he was shallow going from 1 to 2,
Yep.
but then it just straightens out. Fortunately, saved the nose to going in the. But watch it again. So here he goes, transition, boom, and then straightens out.
There we go. Yeah, that's lucky for him that he didn't end up in the tire wall. He managed to slow it down. He figured out what was happening early enough and got the car slowed down. So there we go with the countdown clock at just over a minute now. And you can see quite a big crowd around his car. That's people watching to see what's going to happen.
Giving praise.
Giving him praise and support. You know, they're excited to see if he gets the car fixed or not.
Well, I think you know the outcome of this one. I know there's a lot of LZ fans in the building, but guess what? His day is done. So his maiden voyage in the Mustang, not exactly as it worked out, but still earning his stripes or earning his oval as Wataru Masayama gets the win in his Buy Now Japan Silvia S15. And we are back down to the pit. Less than a minute left. This NGK competition time out. So again, we're waiting for the outcome of this. Ryan Lontaine, I think you elaborated on it properly. Look at that, Hurst is sitting in the car. Hey, round of applause for the team. Working hard, trying to get this car up and running. Multiple teams. Jonathan Hurst, the spirit, again, the pride of Paducah, Kentucky. Is this thing closing? Is he buttoning this thing up?
This would be.
Is this about to run?
This would be a heroic fix if they'd get it out down on the ground. Where's that
We
clock?
got 6
5.
seconds, 5 seconds. We'll find out. Drop that thing, boys. Let's go. And that,
Still up on the jack.
and that's still on the jack. Round of applause for his team.
They hustled
Unfortunately,
really
yeah,
hard.
they hustled, but it's just not enough. Lorette, down to you. Lorette, I see Hurst taking off his helmet, buying some time. Lorette, down to you. Come on, praise him up, fans.
Well, you guys could see that that was a real effort that was happening here with Jonathan Hurst's team. Michael Essa's team jump in. Kelsey Rollings also trying to help. And as the crowd was around here, just cheering you on, man. Everyone had their fingers crossed for you. I'm so sorry that didn't go your way.
Man, it's just crazy. You know, you can't thank all these people enough. There is no other sport, you know, you see this kind of, or whatever. Just the team, all the teams helping us. Simon Olsen's team, we teamed up with them. All their guys helping. Michael S's team, like Kelsey. I mean, just any Sorensen's, everybody just giving us parts, you know, that, you know, we didn't have, just, it sucks, but, this was a really bad hit, and to be able to get back across that line would have been took a lot of work, but it's crazy how close we really were. So,
Jonathan, thank you. We sure hope you're okay. Guys, back to you.
Thank you so much, Lorette. And like you said, the camaraderie here, you don't see it in many motorsports. You love it as he gets out of his car. Make sure he can hear you once again, ladies and gentlemen. It's Jonathan Hurst. He can hear you. It's not too far. You can see him right here from the announcer's booth, but that's what it's all about, man. And, unfortunately, he will not be able to compete, but he will advance on. And we have one more battle left. It's the OMT. That means one more time for Dylan Hughes and that of Justin Pollock. Masayama does advance on, and you can see that actually will be Matt Field going against Jonathan Hurst, not Ryan Literal. So that is a little typo there. But when we come back, we'll continue on with our final battle of Top 32, the AutoZone Streets of Long Beach, presented by Type S.
Jared, thank you so much. They're having a meeting of the minds right now. Chelsea Denofer's right here. Ray Shake is here. She has the ECU hooked up, and Adam. Sorry for interrupting, guys. Adam, we just wanted to get a word from you. What happened out there?
Well, you see, it started off with me not having coffee this morning. No, I'm just kidding. I was just a little too heavy in the left foot brake. I was a little closer than I wanted to be at that point in the track, and it's something that I hadn't really experienced in practice. So I got a push in the front end, and from there it was over. Yeah.
Well, Adam, thank you so much. Great to see you out here. The car is gorgeous. We're looking forward to Atlanta. Guys.
Thank you so much. So there you have it. Just a little clarification. Put a exclamation point or kind of like a ... TBD, to be continued.
See you in Atlanta.
See you in Atlanta. Dylan Hughes, Justin Pollock. So again, Justin Pollock's qualifying position not reflective of his driving prowess on his first qualifying run. Hits the wall, battery comes loose, shuts it down. Dylan Hughes earned it. He's right there, qualified 6th. But right now, our one more time battle. Remember, don't pull the handbrake, boys. Send it. Here we go. The Royal Purple O'Reilly Auto Parts Falcon Tire, BMW out front. Justin Pollock, JTP in that chase position. There goes Dylan Hughes, the first outside zone. Now transition to the second. Justin Pollock taking a bit of a shallower line. So it looks like JTP.
Mechanical issue.
He might be having the mechanical issue, unfortunately.
And now
you hear that?
what does he not have, Jared?
He doesn't have a comp timeout.
Is there a fire?
It
Is
just
that what you were
sounds
showing me?
massive
A lot of
sputtering.
smoke?
No, I'm saying listen up because you could hear the sputtering. Oh, what a bummer. Such a bummer.
So he's going back to
that's
his
gonna be
pit
a wrap.
area. Yeah, he does. If he doesn't have a competition timeout,
That's a wrap.
that is a wrap. If the car won't run, that's a big problem for him.
So that just goes to show you, keep it. It's about attrition. I've heard. You can see the Momo seats, strapping them in, the 4 stars on the corner, and look at that. The Falcon tires wrapped around both sets of wheels of JTP, but we got horsepower on the track, and unfortunately some manpower pushing that Falcon tire Ford Mustang in the pit area. So basically that's going to be a wrap for JTP unofficially. But the word that I keep hearing, and I've heard this from multiple drivers prior to even yesterday's qualifying, attrition.
Yep.
And keep in mind, Frederick Osbo won 1 round out of 8, and he's the champion.
Right.
Consistency is key. It's not you need to win, light them up, joking. Forsberg has won a championship without ever winning an event. So it's about consistency, keeping your car together, making sure you show up, you're on the line. That's going to be our theme for 22.
Finishing an event in the top 3, top 4 repeatedly all season long. Those points are being put on the board. The other drivers, you may have a winner, he wins a round, but then he finishes 14th or 15th or something like that. So finishing in that high area repeatedly, that consistency that you're talking about, is going to take you much further than one win and then a lot of poor finishes. Of course, it looks a lot better at the moment to get on the podium and say, oh, I won, but you want to be consistently doing well, getting points, and hopefully we get a run here, a bye run from Dylan Hughes to wrap up our top 32.
Yeah, that will be a wrap. I'm seeing the Hyper NFT Dodge Viper. So a lot of the cars over in the hot pit area, we're just going to clear those out. But Dylan Hughes will put a cap on our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. So the Royal Purple, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Falcon Tires, Permatex, BMW, the 2J under the hood, and a Dozer behind the wheel. This will get his bye run. They're clearing out cars in the back. And we will see yeah, and just getting some words with the other judges. Ryan, your thoughts on overall our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32?
Pretty exciting top 32, pretty clean top 32. We don't always have a top 32 that doesn't have a lot of drama, let's say. There was one crash from Jonathan Hurst, which was a big one, but overall we only had one more time. The event went smoothly. It's just showing the level of competition that we're at. The drivers are driving cleanly. They are able to repeat their runs over and over again in a safe way, and just showing here in top 32.
And I think so. Dylan looks like he's just going to cruise through. He's not going to put it down there. But I think it was pretty straightforward. No big decisions, but just to build the excitement, and I know how it's going to unfold. Is okay. Lighten them up. There we go. Little celebratory donuts. As the Dozer, Dylan Hughes, Royal Purple, Falcon Tires, O'Reilly Auto Parts, BMW.
Doing it for the fans.
Doing it for the fans. He's got the bye run. You know what? I don't mind that. Usually it's like you do a run, you cruise through. That's the first time in so many years I've seen just donuts being done, so I'm cool with it.
That's great.
Guess what? That's just going to be a great sneak preview of what we're going to see. He's on Falcon Tires. So here's our top 16 bracket. Notably, again, Ryan Turk, our #1 qualifier.